Hello, Andrew here. If you don't know who I am, and you should, I'm the guy who re-uploaded this amazing Team 4-star song, Ghost Nappa. If you don't know how it goes, it's like, what are you gonna call? Ghost Nappa. Um, yeah, so I did that like when I was 13, like 10 years ago, and that got like 800,000 views last I checked. Don't know why, but it did. So I'm gonna use that to try to jumpstart this YouTube channel. And if you don't like it, I'm the avatar, and you have to deal with it. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Avatar, unfortunately. Pretty great show. Maybe one day I will cover that. But in the meantime, in this series, we're gonna go over Dragon Ball Z Abridged and make it a retrospective. So I haven't really watched the show since the last episode came out like 60 however many years ago, and I haven't watched these early episodes probably since I was like 13 or 14. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over every episode, tell you what I think, and yeah. So the first thing that really jumps out to me is just the absolute terrible quality of these episodes. For this first episode, at least, it looks like maybe 480p or something. I don't know. It looks really bad and old. The mic quality is like piss poor. But I mean, it's hard to blame them. These guys made this episode when they were like 2006 or something, 2007, 2008. They're just like four dudes. Can't really blame them for having low quality products. My first compliment of the show is Farmer with a Shotgun. I know he's a big meme in the community, and I could see why. He's actually pretty entertaining. Whoever did the voice for him did a really good job doing like some like crappy redneck farmer with a shotgun kind of voice. I really like him. I think he's pretty funny. Now, for my first real critique of the show, or the first episode, they immediately make a Sonic the Hedgehog reference.
Holy crap, it's Sonic the Hedgehog!
And I'm not saying Sonic isn't based and red-pilled, which he is. It's a serious issue with all of these, at least specifically this one, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. They always make these like crappy like references, just like these pop culture references. It's like they're incapable of just refraining. It's like the most like basic thing, like, oh, he looks like Sonic. The audience knows Sonic. Let's call him Sonic. I know this is going to be a trend throughout the series, so I just don't like it. If you're a big time Sonic lover or hater, let me know in the comments. So in this opening scene where Raditz kills this poor redneck farmer, he makes reference that he says something like, "This is the reason Dad wouldn't let me keep a pool." So when I was a kid, I was like, what the hell does that mean? His dad didn't think he was responsible enough to just own a pool, like a regular backyard pool. But no, he's talking about a pool, like this random character, like this random Frieza henchman that Vegeta kills. I just didn't understand what the hell he's talking about. So I thought like Bardock, Goku's dad, wouldn't let him keep a pool because I don't know, it didn't make any sense, but I guess it makes more sense that he wouldn't let him keep a pool because he would just kill him, which I guess makes more sense now, and the joke definitely lands better. I think this opening scene did a really good job of introducing the series as a whole. It conveys well that it's just a simple anime parody comedy. It doesn't seem all that serious. I know later in the series it takes itself a lot more seriously, but in this opening it definitely comes off as very lighthearted and not to be taken all too seriously. In this next scene we see Piccolo getting introduced, and he's characterized as like a very lonely individual. We see his MySpace account, and his only friend is Tom. And if you don't get that, Tom was the creator of MySpace, and I'm pretty sure he was friends with like everyone on that website. Anyway, so Raditz shows up, and so it's like the dialogue's okay, but at one point they did this thing where they stop the recording, and then someone just like takes over the original voice actor. I don't know if this is because they just didn't like the original voice actor for Raditz and they wanted to switch him out with somebody else, but it's like very awkward, and I don't know, it just felt like a very awkward scene. Raditz at one point is like, "Oh, keep your eye on the birdie, my signature attack." Oh. And as a kid, I was like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" It's just so random. But I guess in like the Ocean dub or something, that's what the actual voice actor for Raditz said, and that's like a reference to that. So I guess it's like kind of funny if you get that, if you understand that context. But by itself, it's just completely random. In this next scene, we get introduced to Bulma, Master Roshi, and Krillin, and it's really weird because in the original show, Krillin was just kind of like a normal dude, and Master Roshi was like the very horny old man's like archetype, like Japanese stereotype thing. But in this, like in the opening scene, it like immediately like it's like Krillin makes like a perverted joke, and it's weird because like throughout the series he's not like that horny. It's Master Roshi that is. So I don't know if they just like it's just like a random one-off thing, but I guess we'll see as the episode goes along. In this scene, at one point, after Krillin says something perverted, Bulma's voice actress goes like, "Okay," and it's really funny because I think they just didn't know what her character would say there, so they just put in like this basically just filler.
Okay.
I really think they just didn't know what to do with her character or what her character is. After this, Goku finally shows up, and we see the star of the show. And his voice actor is really good. He really does a good job portraying the character. During this intro scene, we get a hilarious M. Night Shyamalan "what a twist" moment. Finally, Raditz shows up, and the show gets going. We get a big exposition dump about where Goku's from and all that and blah blah blah. But the one great thing about this is we finally get the Krillin owned counter, which is definitely a staple throughout the show. Goku then just in a really funny way, in a very in-character way, tells Raditz everything he needs to know about the Dragon Balls, and overhearing them is Vegeta and Appa, which are probably the best part of this whole first season. Without them, I don't know how successful the series honestly would have been. Raditz proceeds to beat up Goku and tell him about his plan to take over Earth and sell it. And for a split second, we hear Gohan speak, and he's like, "Daddy," and it's really funny because they just, I don't know who did the voice for him, but it just sounds like terrible and completely off. Following this, Piccolo shows up and he just starts laughing at Goku about how his son was kidnapped, and I thought that was really funny. Goku and Piccolo team up to go kill Raditz. They don't really establish why Piccolo is even helping them at this point. I think it probably does in the actual show, but he doesn't really have much character motivation here. I guess you could say that maybe he wants to kill him because he's stronger than him, but it's not well established, which is I think another problem with this show. It presumes that you already seen it and you already know what's going on, and that was basically the episode. What I think of it, I thought it was okay. I don't think it was that funny, and it definitely shows its age, but I don't think it was bad or anything. If I saw it today, would I continue watching this show? Probably not. But it does get much better. It does get much better, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen the whole thing. So overall, I would say this was an okay episode. I would put it around here in my official Dragon Ball Z Abridged tier list. One compliment I can give it is its fast-paced nature and the fast-paced editing. I think the editing was pretty well done. For like amateur editors, I think it was pretty good, and for amateur voice actors, I think this is a good first showing from the team. I'd like to see it'll be interesting seeing how their skills evolve and adapt as the show goes on. And I know they get much better because I can still remember scenes from the later episodes where it's the acting is like damn near on par with the actual show. Okay, so that's it for this episode review. Check back in maybe a week or two when I upload the next episode in this series. Thanks. See ya.